Hi everyone and welcome to Rad Chat. My name is Joey McNamara and I'm joined by fellow host Norman Joel Anderson.
Hi everyone.
So we are long-suffering, sitting here in the pod box at UKIO 25, and for years and years we sit just waiting for Tom to come in and talk to us.
Literally,
and finally,
third year running, you've eventually got me in the pod.
We've managed to get you in. So Tom, would you like to introduce yourself, please?
Well, first I've been told not to look at the camera, so I'm not looking at the camera. I'm Tom Welton. I'm the current president of the Society and College of Radiographers for another 3-4 weeks. Hand over to Katie 1st of July, so coming to the end of my presidency now. Day job, I'm a diagnostic rad, don't use that against me. I am a lead practice educator up at Preston Hospital, so I do generally look after the undergrad programme there. Do a little bit of work with Rosemere and the therapeutic lot over there as well, and a bit with their students, but generally, that's my jobs.
So you're on countdown to the presidency.
Yeah, it's been a busy one. It's been here, there and everywhere, seeing all the members and stuff, but ultimately it's been a good year. It's been a busy year.
Just talking about your practice educator side, why did you want to be a practice educator?
Why? I don't know. So I've got a background in CT and MRI. I realised very early on in my career the psychology of education and communication and interaction is what I really loved in being a professional. And I also realised that I could be quite inherently lazy if I allowed myself to be. And I thought, well, actually, if you can teach it and if you keep yourself current, it will keep you going as a professional rather than just getting into the kind of button pushing a part of our job. So I thought, I want to go and teach and educate and mentor and kind of evolved from that, really. I think I've always done student education right from the start of my profession. And I was like, well, I'll go into it and love it.
So for anyone out there listening, thinking, how does one become a president of the Society College of Radiographers? How does that happen?
If they could find that answer, that would be really good for me. So the UK Council for the Society are the directors. We're the non-executive directors. We're SOR members. We're not paid by the SOR. We are volunteer kind of workforce. You get elected by your regions and countries. So I'm a Northwest England regional council member. And we have obviously every region in England, a few in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales. And then from within that group, you run the business of the SOR really. And every year you then re-elect from within that group someone for the presidential team. That now, as of a few years ago, I was the last internal vote. Now it goes out to the membership. We've got that changed, so it's more democratic. You then do a 4-year journey. So we have vice president, which is currently Rachel. You have president-elect, which is Katie. I'm now president. And then you go immediate past president, which is currently Dave. And then as of July, that'll be me. So you do kind of a 4-year kind of journey through it. Represent the SOR from the top. And when you're president, you're technically Richard Evans' boss. So I'm somehow his boss.
And you do a leaper then?
Unfortunately, I've not gone to Richard's house to meet to leaper for a house party or anything. No. But no.
So in terms of the presidency, did you have any kind of goals or objectives that you wanted to achieve during the year?
Yeah, I mean, there was I had some external, internal ones really. As you say, I'm a diagnostic radiographer. I'm from England, and on top of that, I'm also white heterosexual male, and we have a lot of equality and equity kind of policies coming through. And I was very sure right from the beginning not to try and fit a mould that would be expected of me as an England white heterosexual male. So I've done a lot of travelling around the devolved nations. I've gone to Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland because it's quite easy to be England-centric because it is the bigger area, to make sure that I kind of got their voice in my year. And also I am a big ally for LGBTQ, I'm a big ally for race rights, Naman knows that well. So I wanted to make sure that I had the right voice and not just lean on what I already knew, because I'm a president representing 30,000 members. It's not necessarily what I want to do. And I've had to fight with that a little bit because what you want to do versus what comes at you is two different things. so that was more kind of extrinsically what I wanted to kind of prove to the membership, and I hope I've done that to some extent. And then is the more boring stuff, the governance, the internal politics of the SOR that you'd expect in any business, and kind of getting systems working, making sure Rich is doing his job and all the stuff, which thankfully they are, and making sure that we're kind of looking in the right direction and kind of governing the progression of radiography, really. So,
How do you decide who you go and visit?
how do you decide? Well,
Is it just, I want to go here, make it happen?
yeah. No. I've done that once or twice this year. I was sure I didn't want to invite myself to places because there's nothing worse than going with this kind of regal, I want to come and see you. So I'm not, that's a bit arrogant, and I'm not that kind of person really. But so if someone wanted me to come to a hospital or go to their department or things, then I would. I'm just getting heckled from outside the pod now. So I would go. I've been to different hospitals. I went to Hull Infirmary, Leicester, and things like that. They wanted to come and talk to us about their different programs, and that's great. And obviously we went. But ultimately, I wanted to look at around the themes of my presidency, kind of, and allowed kind of more organically them to kind of come to me. As I said, I'm a practice educator, so I spent most of the year not doing education because I know that already. So I didn't want to go to all the universities and the practice educators because I thought, well, I need to go to the other bits that I've not seen, radiotherapy, things like that. But I'm now, the last couple of few months, doing a little bit of tour of universities and programs because, as you all know very well, from your Sheffield role, it's very difficult in higher education. The money, the pressures, the expansions. So having that voice is important. So I've been going. Went to Ulster University to see their 2 programs last month. I'm going down to see Amy Hancock in Exeter this month, which will be nice.
I think your final day as president should be coming to see us at Sheffield Hallam. Like, wouldn't that be incredible?
So you decided to ask me on a podcast so that if I say yes, I have to then do it.
Yeah, obviously.
It's like
It's
Say no,
recording.
you'll be questioned as to why.
Yeah. So on the 30th of June.
Yeah, wouldn't that be just an incredible way to end your presidency?
I haven't got my diary in front of me, Joe, but I would, if I am free, then 100% yes.
Ah, well, thank you
Is that
so
a good politician's
much.
answer, that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll be checking your diary over your shoulder with you.
No, I would love to come to Sheffield and see you all, you and Mel and co. And so yeah, the invite, I'd come.
Thank you.
So UKIO, quickly tell us why people should come back again next year or come for the first time next year.
They should come every year. I think what I like, because I've now been to like places like RSNA, ESCR, the other big conferences in our kind of sphere. What I like about UKIO, because I sit on the board for UKIO as well, as part of my role in society, it's so multi-professional. It is quite radiographer-led, which I quite like that as a radiographer. Obviously, we'd love to see more radiologists, more oncologists, more things, but ultimately, there is a very strong radiographer kind of message here. But the message that comes out is a good message as well, because there's so much patient-centered stuff. It's quite holistic in that approach, rather than the nuts and bolts of what we are as a profession. So that's a good way of coming. We're all social butterflies. We also like to have a network and talk and interact. I mean, yesterday morning, I think I hugged about 20 people just trying to get in the place because you can't
We love
get
a
in.
hug, Tom.
Yeah.
Good hugger.
I mean, I'm built for hugging, aren't I? So yeah, it's just lovely to catch up with people you don't see for a little while and build those networks. And whatever role you're in, you need people around you that speak the same language. When you're in a place like this with hundreds of people around you that do speak the same language, it's nice to be around it. And I'm a nerd. I like that sort of thing. It's great, isn't it?
Why should someone become a member of the Society College of Radiographers?
For the hugs.
For the hugs. I will always give someone a hug if they want. No, I think I've said this so often recently within our boardroom, actually. You've got the obvious, the insurance, the indemnity insurance, all of that, and making sure that in a very difficult world that you're protected from a union side. That is so important. But for me, it's what a union is.
Yeah.
You know, even your listeners, you're a union of Rad Chat. Maybe not a trade union, but you're a union of Rad Chat. It's a coming together in a network. And that, we have the density of the radiography voice within the UK, and we have a voice in the global scale. So why would you not want to be part of that voice? Why would you not like to build this kind of community and this, I'm not going to say family, it's far too cheesy that, I'm not going to do that. But ultimately it's being part of something, and that's what I've always wanted to do. I've said around my travels, I don't have to be a president, I don't have to be on council, I don't have to be a member, I'm choosing to do this. Yes, it's good for my career hopefully, and it's a nice CV build and professional kind of development, but I like it, I want it, I want to meet. I probably met you for the first time, Joe, when you sat as an observer on council. I think that's probably one of the first times I met you, and from there we just got to know each other more and more, and now I don't know when I first met you, it was probably through Rad Chat and one of your many awards that you always win. But that is what radiography should be about, and there's so many radiographers up and down the country that are either members or non-members who are quite hidden. And there's so many great stories up and down the country that are just relatively hidden. And actually, if you start breaking into places like society and you can start getting that exposure, because we do have that voice, whether it's with the NHS bodies like NHS England or with EFRS, with the other societies like American Canada, that's you're in. So why would you not want to do that as a professional rather than just turn up, present your job and go on? And that, I like that. So I would know what else. Is that right? Is that a good enough answer?
Perfect.
I think that'll do with it.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for coming on Rad Chat.
I won't leave it 3 years next time.
Yeah,
How about
thank
that?
you.